Attack!
One of these games. One of these games. Talia Dutin is basically just Vincent food. I mean, something's gonna end up Vincent. Even if Vincent's just like another poison, something's gonna happen. How do I beat Pavko Gale? Make any changes? I accidentally swapped out the engineering solution for a TA, and so far I haven't regretted my decision. I don't know what I want to do. I want to play the operator. Yeah, I mean, it makes the Pevko worse, even though I don't turn the frigate on this turn. Because the roller guard always goes to the end of the row. I'll just do this. Deck needs tall removal. I mean, we play a Yurden. Also, I don't think tall removal was the reason we lost that game. Or the game before, really. Toxic seems very good right now compared to the others. Yeah. He's like... I don't know. He's like less toxic and more just like abrasive, I feel. But maybe that's just my limited exposure to him. There's no low tier god. Yeah. I mind liking after this game. What? Oh, yeah, Kirby's got you.
Mother Earth, I grant you my life. From you it came.
Oh, I saw that squirrel too. I have the list here.
Bloody non-humans. No mercy!
This is Senilian's pile. It's a couple cards off, but I don't think any of the swaps have been relevant yet. Would I be pushing round 2? Probably not. But I just want to AA for like another blue stripe scout. Couldn't put Jordan into a deck voluntarily. True. Yurden is a real card. Yurden exists. I have more experience with the Yu-Gi-Oh community. I don't know if I've ever been to an FGC event to where I can firsthand say FGC is bad, but Yu-Gi-Oh is definitely bad. It was worse before they did online pairings, and everyone had to go to like the same wall and crowd together to try to find who they were playing in the next round. There was no escaping it. That said, with online pairings, it's not as bad. Because you just check them on your phone, you're fine. Do I keep up with Yu-Gi-Oh somewhat nowadays? No, not really. I occasionally check the prices of cards that I have a bunch of copies of to see when I should finally sell stuff, but I don't have any idea what the meta's been like for the last 2 years. The most I get is like, oh, I see my super abyss spikes have spiked in value. I guess Mermail is seeing play. Guess I'm doing this.
The Queen holds no audiences this day.
We're playing the only counter to our deck in our deck. Give it to Nilfgaard Bribery. I think Gyrden's the only counter to this deck. So far, like, Owls's Thunder has been a really good counter to our deck. Masquerade Ball kind of fucks us up. Where do our points come from besides these guards? We play 14 copies of Royal Guards. We actually just play a Royal Guards every single turn. This hand is insane. Yeah, I agree. I like Igni more just in general, but I wouldn't know where to spend the provision. Yeah, you play 3 copies of Offering with Ronvid. Blue Stripe Scouts make a Assault and Neuromancy into copies as well. Cool. So this hand has 1 card that isn't a Royal Guard. And we've already played 3.
That Brochelon would be my home. Who would have thought?
Oh, sorry, 4.
What brings you here? Not as you went to here.
Song is a language away from K-pop. Are you calling Eurobeat K-pop? Just play Igni and let the provision be dead be better. Maybe. I don't know. Probably. Garden's pretty shit.
Sound the alarm.
I remembered Offensive Offering, guys. I never remember Offensive Offering. EDC is a guaranteed guard, yeah. Well, we have Operator too, but yeah. Once Operator's gone. So what? A Nero gets the Royal Guard, so I can AA for a Mauler to get an offensive offering on this. That sounds right to me.
When I do the tenderizing, there's nothing left to fry.
New and Blue Dreamwear. Yeah, there's none of that nonsense. A little too expensive.
Come to me, little one.
Do you guys think he plays Shaping Nature?
To arms! Protect the Queen!
Be gone from Brochelon! Get out!
The Queen holds no audiences this day.
Delicious, delicious Yrden. What is the Yrden for? This, I guess.
How can I help?
What brings you here?
This is the deck. It is Senilian's Royal Guards. ST is pretty garbage. That said, I think the list our opponent's playing makes Gwent a little bit worse. Okay. Killing my Ronvid. Okay. Amazing. Well, I hope he doesn't have Yrden. Because I don't think my Yrden's bigger than his. Though, we are up 24 points. It's probably just fine.
You fight well.
The devs knew they were killing Harmony. I'm sure they knew.
Portals.
Very close game. Very close game. It would be better if Blood Eagle didn't exist. It wasn't like one of the most played cards in the game.
Ested esa crisa.
But Blood Eagle fucking murders, I think. I mean, Symbiosis is one of the better ST decks. And it wouldn't be that bad if it wasn't so awful against Skellige. Yeah, like all-in Symbiosis is kind of trash. We do a talk through one of these games. I'm still figuring it out too. If you have specific questions, like why I'm playing something at a certain window, feel free. The answer is usually just I'm trying to put Royal Guards in my graveyard, and then... I mean, that's really it. I forget, because I'd rather forget in round 1 than round 3. I don't even know if he's awake. He's not in chat, as far as I'm aware. Bomb Heaver test. I regularly fail the Bomb Heaver test. It's a really hard test to pass. Yep, operator always puts it end of row. Feel a lot better about this operator if you just put it here, turn the frigate back online immediately. Just continue playing really slow, and yeah. Do I participate in the next balance patch?
My great-granddaughter will do.
I don't know. Probably more Skellige nerfs. It's hard to say. They've not been consistently giving large balance patches like they did in the past. I'm not sure how much of that's due to like their work schedule being weird because of quarantine, and how much of that is them trying to move away from monthly bigger patches. I'm down 1,000,000 points. 1,000,000's a lot. Well, because in the graveyard you can offering for them. You play 3 copies of offerings effectively with Triss and the Necromancy, so you want 4 in your graveyard. I mean, Ethereal looks fine at 9. I don't know. I don't think the monsters decks are particularly good. Now, I'm sure part of that is due to just monsters overall being a little weak. And Ethereal being the best card in the deck is just fine. Stupid weak to movement. I mean, in theory, sometimes. It kind of stops being weak to movement as soon as they have, like, a consume. It's like saying it's weak to lock. It's just not really how it plays out. You can also just do this. Just put your tall unit in the same row. Can I concede yet? Just want for you. I mean, so Ethereal is kind of super broken, but you have to play it in monsters, which makes it less super broken. Like, the numbers on this card are absurd for how difficult it is to answer. But in exchange, you're not playing Masquerade Ball, you're not playing Herald. There are some other insane cards in other factions. Punish's a thing too. Yeah.
To arms! Protect the queen!
Okay.
I will not let this become a second Sodom.
I mean, I've got a Necromancy. I guess I'm supposed to have just rezzed this. Whoops.
The queen holds no audiences this day.
could be worse.
What brings you here?
Could be better. Could definitely be better. But could also be worse. We did miss AA. We do not have a round mid. Maybe it couldn't be worse. Not entirely sure what the plan is.
If the kingdom earns ahead, I'll give him yours.
The thing is, like, Surrender, Werecat, and Hemdall aren't even that good against it. Like, it mitigates it a bit, but the card's still playing for value. And with, like, Surrender, too. If it's happening in, like, round 1. What am I doing?
None of you enter here.
Like, you've got to time the Surrender. Great Sword is the counter to Ethereal. Eh, sort of. Sort of. Did they think Jax was gonna do Usurper? Yeah, in round 3 when you can like last play the Surrender, it works pretty well. I don't know, you're still like turning your it's still a 1 point per turn engine against the Surrender. I don't know. Still doesn't even seem that bad. Like if you fill a row with Ethereals and that row gets surrendered, you still got your provision value out of Ethereal. And that's not even considering like the round 1 and 2 considerations where you have to surrender early for tempo. Realm of Jax, Slides and Fire, Soaring cards being dog shit. Yeah, sort of. I did think he'd maybe see play in the mid-range Syndicate deck. Not because he's particularly good there, because it's another short round play. That turned out to not be the case. What are we doing here? I again don't have Royal Guards in my hand.
Blood alone can my maid's honor unbesmirch.
It supports like Bone Talisman if you're going that route. It supports a Diazire.
Can you die already? Or need I kill you again?
And I mean, it plays as a 12 for 11, which is pretty fine rate.
Destiny is unswerving. Cheated. It will not be. First you'll have to.
bronze play condition to being a general aura. There's no other card in the game that works like that currently, right? That might just not be an ability they can easily implement.
Bloody non-humans.
Like Herald and Second Wind is more oppressive. Sure, I mean when you point to the strongest single card in the game, I think it's pretty easy to make that argument. I'm just saying that Ethereal is pretty far above the curve, and it is very hard to efficiently trade with it. Which is usually how cards should be evaluated. By how they trade with others.
Queen holds no audiences this day.
I want to start playing Syndicate, don't have much to go with bronzes. Is faction pack worth the price of $12? What's in the faction pack? I know you get a Philippa.
What brings you here?
The fuck? Why are you trying to... Why are you linking a hex JPEG?
Regroup.
Yeah, I know what card you're talking about. This was an effect from beta. They might not still have... Oh... I know what you mean now. Yeah. Maybe. The Syndicate pack. So what? Ewald sees play... And then the Philippa you get sees play? Oh, Adriana's there, yeah. I don't know if this is... I mean, buying packs is just such bad rate, right? Some decks start playing more else again. Yeah, it's a good, like, filler card, too. Yeah, it's probably fine. What? No, it's not close. Blood Eagle is so much better than a Nero. I'm a Neroing for Operator.
What brings you here?
Sword is fine. This is why we have Yurden. Do I continue just stacking this row? So that if he plays more greatswords, he wants to put them ranged. Okay. No, but it's pretty easy to make it so that it gets you what you want, and 2 provisions and 2 points is a pretty huge swing.
Here's to better loot than in your wildest, wettest dreams!
I swear it upon the gods,
I think I wanted to put that ranged, but eh.
Women, children, elders.
How can I help?
To arms! Protect the queen!
What? Venero doesn't have a prop cap. Why am I being tagged?
I'll smash your mug! Shut the fight, you bastard!
AA is smaller?
I had a hammer! I had a hammer in the morning!
Oh, I love the smell of a burning minute in the morning.
That's not good. Why does this definitely no answer to turn me? Oh no. Yeah, I don't think Ku is a bad card. Just doesn't have a good home right now. Like in the deck that it's good in, it's pretty strong. It's just the deck that it's good in isn't the good Nilfgaard deck right now.
I fear nothing.
Well, I tried.
Damn it.
I put AA over Aneromancy too. AA is insane. AA is the one card I'd consider putting above Blood Eagle. Just the rest of the faction isn't quite as good. Top 3 per faction. What's NR? NR's gotta be like AA, Vizigurd, and I don't even know. AA, Vizigurd, Thalabor? Eh? It's a pretty big fall off after AA and Vizigurd. Voimir, I don't think Voimir is as good as Falibor, even though Voimir does sort of enable the Vizigurd. King's top tier. Braxis is fine. I think it loses a good bit of value if your opponent knows you're playing it, but Karak Marine is the right answer. I do really like Karak Marine. The card is crazy.
That is your brilliant move. Truly.
Devotion's not a free cost, unfortunately.
Blood alone can my maid's
Good
honor
beginner
unbesmirch.
Syndicate deck? No, there's really not. Syndicate's one of the harder factions to get a handle on. I would recommend not starting with it. Round one Grimace. I mean, we're at R. What does he need it for, right? We're not putting any statuses on his board. The most we're gonna do is like maybe Sintran Enchantress, and he's got the Grimace in play for it. Passiflora Fizztech. Maybe. It's definitely Passiflora. And then, I guess Philippa makes sense from there. But maybe consider even just going, like, Passiflora, Fizztech, Trafficker, Fizztech. Comparing cards across provision slots is always kind of weird, though. What is this Grimace for? On our opponent's board? Nothing. He's against NR. Doesn't do anything. Yikes! Okay, well. I mean, we have Yrden, but we're losing this by way more than potentially Yrden value. Yeah, Saul's definitely above Philippa. Saul's insane. I think I'd still put, like, the bronze poisons over Philippa. But I mean, maybe they've lost, like, a lot of equity this meta. Poison doesn't feel great against Gilliga. Oak Critters would have been way better with Harmony. That's sort of why Oak Critters was nuts. Being a Bronze Treant for Harmony. Also being a Bronze Treant for Rebuke, but less of a big deal when you have to be Devotion in a Rebuke deck. I want this in my graveyard, right? Maybe. I'll probably kill some Royal Guards for me. It'll be fun. I put a lot of cards over Aethne. Third best in SK. Oh, let me look at a list. I like sort of want to say Greatsword, even though Greatsword's getting cut in lists. Because, like, even in the lists that cut Greatsword, the existence of Greatsword changes how you play against it. Greatsword's an insane card.
There are things in the universe of which even the sages have not dreamt.
Do I not use my meteorite powder? Nope.
To arms, all of yous!
How do I like Frigate? Eh. It exists.
The Queen holds no audiences this day. What brings you here?
The problem with the Yrden this time is you don't have Last Say. I'm like trying to bait him into doing things early, and it's probably not gonna work.
Not that you enter here.
I mean, Cutting Boar makes sense. It's an expensive card you can't tutor with Blood Eagle. You often just don't need it.
Out of the crowns. Come on, quick back. To arms, protect the Queen.
not the best.
Bloody not humans.
He's avoiding killing my real royal guards. Probably supposed to do this a while ago. Kills the royal guard for me. That's nice. Okay. Pretty happy about that.
The Queen holds no audiences this way. What brings you here?
You have my sword, and I'll cure such axes.
Turgv. I'm pretty sure he can make up these points, which is really sad.
On Handor! Bring to your dogs! They wouldn't dare cross me!
Oh, he couldn't. Amazing. I'm actually really surprised that that wasn't enough. We played Commandos yesterday, and we played another list earlier this season. We played the double Pavetta list yesterday. We played a list without Renew a week or two ago. I think that one's already up on YouTube.
For me, Bilberry's honor!
Any leaks about spectator mode or the tournament system inside Gwent? I mean, we had a tournament this last weekend that sort of ran on tournament mode, but aside from that, I don't think we know when we're getting it. It can be nuts. The problem is, like, you need it to live, right? Or you need your order to live if you want to Zeal Varaxis. If your opponent knows about the Varaxis, it can be played around. Also requires you to save your cards for Varaxis. You only have a couple of orders that you want to use with it. It's definitely powerful when it works. And I think the TLG list is playing Varaxis. I know Saber's got a good score with Varaxis. Yeah, and basically that. If you can avoid running Elder Bear-like cards, you usually don't want to. Varaxis is a little elderberry.
I'll rip and tear until you're done for!
There are things in the universe of which even the sages have not dreamt.
Yeah, this deck's cool. Deck's cool. Little soft to removal, but the deck's cool overall.
To a lad like that I can hit from 100 paces off. 200.
Yeah, I mean, those all sound very agreeable.
Elves must die!
Sound the alarm.
Few things more satisfying than a kill
Oh, I guess I'm not totally sold on the Philippa slot. I could see Philippa getting kicked out by Saul or Bronzes.
Bloody non-humans.
I've long been waiting.
How bad is it for me if he passes? It's pretty bad. Plays for 11. I can go play this Royal Guard and then have AA Scout.
Take the queen.
Best 3 monsters. Ygr Nazrel. Can I call Ethereal a monsters card?
You're not making me
In
mad.
Draga Larva? Wait, that was actually pretty easy. Ygr Nazrel Larva.
If the king demands a head, I'll give him yours.
Larva against Harold. It's still good in round 1. You just have to be careful.
Let this become a second sire.
Don't worry, Haunt top 3? No.
Oh, that was unfortunate.
Haunt's good when no one's playing Bomb Heaver. But like as soon as we start seeing more Bomb Heavers, Haunt becomes not worth playing. It's like not good enough to justify the risk. Ball and Passiflora both play for way better value.
If we had to murder and pillage to survive, then so be it.
How bad is this for me?
Fall overboard and I'm not jumping in after you.
Yeah, I think that's my list. Larva, Ygr, and Ozrel. Corinthia is a card. Yeah, Corinthia is good in a very different way. I could see that replacing the Ozrel. I think Ygrin's generally better than Ozrel. Corinthia just like enables some decks.
Queen holds no audiences this day.
This is Senilian's Royal Guards.
That one, he venerates not the fire! That's the only way they learn.
Okay, I need to kill one of these.
Damn it!
Not the most exciting Triss ever, but here we are. I hope it doesn't happen in the future. But yeah.
You shall be renounced by kin, condemned by your children.
Gold shines brightest in the presence of fire!
So many points.
Elves must die! I believe I heard more coin clinking about in that pouch of yours.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much just Ethereal, Living Armor, Kiki Queen are the main targets. I guess the Beast. The Beast is usually just a backup target.
brings you here?
Oh fuck. Whoops. Okay. Oh, this looks bad.
None of you enter here. Let's get this over with.
Wee.
Sound the alarm.
Isengrim. What? Isengrim's council, maybe. Even the elf deck doesn't play Isengrim. Oh no. We'll figure it out, I guess.
When I do the tenderizing, there's nothing left to fry.
Come at me if you must. Don't think this sword a toy.
Have a now. Ask questions later.
So you want the 1-point nerf? It was a 2-point nerf. And yeah, I mean the card wasn't really that insane to begin with.
Can he cut cleanly when you squirming about like that?
What do I get here? Oh, I could have gotten Carrick, forget. Might have been better than the line that I took.
Protect the queen.
Sort of hoping to get to kill this. Cool. We won that game somehow. We playing a Tavern Brawl? Because Tavern Brawl was gone already. Nilfgaard, Ball, and what? 1 second. Let me get a real hand. I queued into this deck again. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know what it goes, like Ball, Brothans, and I don't really know where you go from there.
For me, Bilberry's honor.
Ball Brothan seems easy. Usurper is great in the Ball deck. I don't think it's Enforcers. It could just be like Fangs of the Empire. Cupbearer or something like that.
If the king demands a head, I'll give him yours.
More cards, more status. It doesn't necessarily correlate to more statuses seeing play though. Also, like, the overall density of statuses doesn't necessarily go up over time either. I agree. Usurper's definitely a good card. I would not argue that.
Pigmentation, rough skin, vertical pupils, horns.
Bloody non-humans.
Gold's Master Mirror. There's also a lot of really bad Nilfgaard legendaries.
Sword of the Order! Flaming Rose!
I feel like Invo is constantly a much better card on paper than it is in practice. Not that it's a bad card. It's just, it's easy to say all of these things about it and then realize that your opponent gets to sequence their cards in a way to minimize its impact. Straight up ignoring Hefty Helga? I think so.
Mercy nor forgiveness!
I would not put Helga over Brothans or Ball. I think it's debatable in the third slot.
How can I help?
I don't know what I was expecting here.
Seen 10 years in the army. Plays better with Salamandra.
Yeah, opponent's full swarm. I guess that means he'll take me to a long round, which is good for me. Probably. Should I take my AA then? If I AA for Blue Stripe Scout, it's 9, and this plays for 11.
Regroup! None of you are here.
This deck strategy, play a lot of Royal Guards. Wait, what? Why did those cards get drawn in that order? Shouldn't it always be the 2 Echo cards and then the third? Did an offering go back into my deck somehow?
I confiscate these goods.
I'm very confused. Okay, I guess this is a hand. I'm not kicking the Adalia. Nero is not doomed. Oh, that makes a ton more sense. Okay. Mystery solved.
Don't think this sword at all.
Destiny is unswerving. Cheated. It will not be.
Fisting for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
He's row stacking.
Don't move, look. Maybe I'll spare you.
Test out with gun is non-human.
is better than Baron? Generally, yeah. It's pretty metagame based, though. Depends what you need to be answering. Oh, yeah, that's a good reason to not want to bleed Firestorm tokens. Interesting.
To arms! Protect the Queen! Queen holds no audiences this day.
Azar! Man, good thing Yerden doesn't target. I'm gonna take this now so I don't like lose a one.
What brings you here?
I probably should have killed this too. Whoops. Whoops. We're getting the offensive offering yet again. Never punished.
You're the printer here.
Gold shines brightest in the presence of fire.
This last card is just Diasire.
Last words.
And Diasire is not 31 points. Oh, Furko into Diasire, sure.
Call this one the
Still not 31 points.
Nothing like a dwarf.
I mean, if you asked nicely, I could have gotten you a deck link, but I mean, That's why you play the really good cards, load up with shitty bronzes to turn into golds. Yeah, but when you play the really good cards, they're not in the pool anymore, because Master Mirror only creates cards not from your starting deck. So when you put Brothans in your deck, or you put Masquerade Ball in your deck, you can't create Masquerade Ball or Brothans anymore. I don't know why I didn't lead on this. This is stupidly greedy. Yeah, I'm still not.
If the king demands a head, I'll give him yours.
Read Master Mirror. It's on the card. You link the deck. Don't reward his behavior. No.
Blood alone can my maid's honor unbesmirch.
I'm pretty sure if Master Mirror was bugged to create cards that were in your starting deck, we would know about it.
Fall overboard.
I'm pretty sure you're just mistaken. It's the kind of card that people have played enough that we would know if it was bugged. This deck is not currently on YouTube. Just ask for the deck, like a normal person. It will be linked. Command should probably say you could ask nicely of the streamer for the deck link. Yeah, but that wouldn't generate as much traffic to my YouTube.
Yes, that would fit perfectly.
Usually if I see someone type exclamation point deck, I'll just link it in chat, but I didn't see the message until he started abusing my bot. Once he started abusing my bot, I mean, no. Because we have not posted it to YouTube yet. Because this is the first day we are playing it. It takes time for things to process and be uploaded to YouTube. If you would like the deck link, just ask. Just ask nicely. And don't, like, swear at my bot. He's just trying to do his job.
To arms! Protect the queen!
Scale of 1 to 5, how chill is chat? Depends. Some days they're chiller than others.
Destiny is unswerving.
I'd say today is fairly chill.
Be.
I have the most behaved chat. I try. For how little I moderate, it is surprising that seems to be the case.
What brings you here?
Oh hey, we're ahead. Yeah, why I banned pasta. Yeah, exactly. It just turns the chat into something that's not about interacting with the streamer. And that feels like the whole point of Twitch chat to me.
Bloody non-humans.
There's no point to Twitch chat? That's not true.
Countless wretches and corpses.
Chat is kind of the core of the platform.
Not a threat to here.
Surprised how this tank is very playable. Yeah, it's not that bad. It works. Yikes.
Sound the alarm.
Should I get ahead here? Oh, why didn't I just Yurden? Fuck. I'm a Dumbo. I'm a genius.
Let's get this over with.
Fucking got him. Oh wait, did purging you remove your sword? What the fuck? Oh, because I purged and didn't delete. Whoops. Okay. There you go. You can have your sword back. So I go Royal Guard. I want to kick this Royal Guard so I can leader. I can go like Necromancy. Necromancy, leader, Blue Stripe, Aniro, AA.
To arms! Protect the queen! Queen holds no audiences this way.
Is Gurden good? It's been alright tonight. I'm usually not a big fan of it though. I'd rather play Igni most of the time.
I sense strong magic.
We are rebuked. Nero is sweet. Big fan of what a Nero does for the game.